X is one variable and Y is one variable, because two variable is very important, divided by n into standard deviation of X and standard deviation of Y. After calculating the based on the result whatever you are getting, minus or plus or exactly 0, now you are writing the correlation. According to formula, n is a total frequency of the given bivariate distribution. Hello everyone, a warm welcome to one and all. I am Natesh, lecturer in commerce, Vidhyaashram, first grade college, MYSURU, the temple of excellence. We are in the unit 4, section 3, third semester BCom business statistics, correlation and regression analysis. In the last two sections, which is related to the correlations based on the graphical method, so in the scattered diagram as well as the correlation graph. And today in this session, so the under mathematical method, so the first one called Pearson coefficient of correlation, which is 100% expected question. Okay, so here in the last two sessions, which is completely related to graphical method, so the scatter diagram, how the relationship between the two variables. So whenever we are trying to do for correlation, we are depending for the bivariate, because that variables is very important. So in this case, mathematical method, today the session is main focus on the Carl Pearson coefficient of correlation. So here the Carl Pearson is a person. Okay, most of the area the Carl Pearson of coefficient are using commonly. So the coefficient of correlation is a single number describing the extent of covariation. Okay, because the two variables what we are finding the variations between the two associate variable, because we are trying to go for finding for example the price as well as the demand. The price is considered an X and the demand is considered Y. So how it is influencing? If it is the price is increased, the demand is, if it is increasing, so which is going for the same direction. Thus the coefficient of correlation is a numerical measure that show the degree and the direction of relation. Either it is going for positive direction or negative direction, upward or downward. So we need to find out the variations. The coefficient of correlation always vary between, the value is +1 to -1. Okay, so the always between. If it is 0, there is no relation. Will not be exceed unit. Unit is always one value. Okay, so of the various mathematical measure of correlation, the Carl Pearson of coefficient of correlation, so it is a very commonly using the correlations. Okay, so it is the most popular in practice. Okay, so most of the area they are using a Carl Pearson. So the formula for computing the Carl Pearson correlation, the symbolically pi is, so here we try to do for step deviation or direct method or assuming mean value. So the first one, the step deviations method, so which is nothing but R, you can write for R or gamma, you can write for the correlations. Okay, so sigma X and Y. X is one variable and Y is one variable, because two variable is very important, divided by n into standard deviation of X and standard deviation of Y. Because so just for transferring the formula, we are trying to easy formula, which is nothing but the sigma numerator we are writing sigma X and Y. Okay, according to formula what and all is required, we need to construct the table. So divided by because from the X series we are trying to find out X square, just direct method. So if you are trying to find out X value under step deviation method, the formula is very simple. So we have X series, we need to minus X bar. How? The X bar formula is very simple, sigma X divided by n in case of discrete ungrouped data. So here the formula is very simple. With the help of X variable, we are trying to find out X as well as X square plus Y with the help of Y series, because you consider the price is an X series and the demand is a Y series. So we are completely depending on the X. Okay, how we are finding X? X series minus X bar. And Y, how we are finding? The same thing, Y is equal to, from the Y series we need to subtract the Y bar. The formula is very simple. Y bar is equal to sigma y divided by small letter n in case of ungrouped. So which is always for the discrete data. Okay, so here extending I have already written here, which is just minus sign. Okay, so sigma fx, because sigma xy, which is nothing but numerator whatever it is coming, which is a covariance of x and y, because the 5 bivariate, always we need to depend two variables. Okay, so where x is equal to x minus x bar, so according to formula basis only we need to, so unless we cannot directly, we cannot consider, because we are using a step deviations, no. So when we are doing a step deviations method, we need to find out from the x series, we need to find out x. Okay, so how we are finding x value? From the x series we need to subtract x bar. So when you are writing like this, which is nothing but your step deviation method, so the condition is very clear. So when you want to apply this formula, okay, if the sigma x and sigma y, if you are getting 0, then better we are try to apply this formula. Okay, so again the deviation from the actual mean of x, from the x series we are finding, you know the formula, x bar is sigma x divided by n. And the same thing from the y series. Okay, y series whatever it is given, now you need to find out y bar. Y bar how we are finding? So very simple, y bar is equal to sigma y divided by number of items. So here the standard deviation how we are finding? So here see, from the x series what we are getting, so directly the standard deviation of y series, so just we are trying to doing for the square, we are after getting the x, we are trying to go for square. So you know the formula for standard deviation is sigma x square d plus sigma y square. So sigma x square from the x series we are trying to do for the square, we are, which is related to the standard deviation of x series. From the y series we are trying to do for square, which is nothing but the standard deviation of y. So capital letter n or small letter n, the number of pair observation, because we are complete the correlation is which is depending on the pair. Okay, x and y is one pair, husband and wife is one pair, so always we are trying to go for correlations. Okay, so the symbolical, the correlation of coefficient, either we are writing gamma, we are writing r, you can write r. Okay, so whichever is possible. So according to, you know the once again I am saying, so when you want to apply this formula, if the sigma x and sigma y, if you are getting 0, then we are trying to depend on the step deviation method. So whatever, the please note this, the formula can be applied only when deviation are taken from the actual arithmetic mean, because we are writing arithmetic mean. Okay, so and not from the assumed mean, we are not from the x series, if you are not taking assumed mean, so only x bar only arithmetic mean when you are trying to take. So which, so the step involved as follow. So what are the steps you have to follow? Because according to formula what is required, so you because here x bar is there, so the step 1 is x bar. Finding the x bar is very simple. From the x series take this total divided by number of items in the x series, and the same thing again the formula is having y bar. So because this final formula which is depending on the x value and y value, so whatever it is given, so which is you cannot consider, which is a step deviation. So with the help of x and y only we are trying to find out the, okay, so this is step 1. Step 2, so after getting the x and y value, we need to go for the deviation. How we are doing? So according to formula we are trying to do for x bar is equal to, from the x series we have already calculated the mean value. So after subtraction, now actual the x value we are getting, so which is nothing but deviation you have to treat. So same thing which is applicable for y also. Step 3, take the square root, because the formula is there for the standard deviations. No, that's what we are trying to go, taking the square root. Okay, whatever we calculated x and y, try to go for the square. Okay, so suppose the x value you are getting 10, if you try to write the square means 100 you are writing, right? So just multiply, and the same thing which is applicable for y series also. Okay, so now step 4, what we need to do, so according to formula we need to take the total. Okay, so here the sigma x and the sigma y, the from the x actual calculation values deviations. Okay, so if the step 4, if you are getting the 0 x sigma x and sigma y after calculating, then only you need to depend this formula. Okay, so 5th step, apply this formula. Okay, here gamma r you can write r, okay, which is a correlation. The formula whatever it is there, very simple. So in the question which is given x and y series, okay, or they can specify the name, price and demand. Okay, so when you are trying to do for the step deviation method, again you need to do for the according to formula x minus x bar, you have to find out according to formula, because your the deviation x value you are depending, so y is equal to y minus y bar you have to do. So if after doing this x value, if you are getting sigma x and sigma y is equal to 0, then we are trying to depend on this formula, apply this formula, gamma is equal to sigma fx. So now we got x value, y value. Now if you try to do for the deviation, x square, what we are getting, how we are getting x is equal to x minus x bar. How we are getting y? Y is equal to y minus y bar. After getting this deviation value, you are taking square for x series and y series because the standard deviation. Okay, now you are deciding here the sigma x and sigma y, if you try to take the total, if you are getting the 0, now you have decided to take this formula. Now after deciding, finally after calculating the based on the result whatever you are getting, minus or plus or exactly 0, now you are writing the correlation. How? So in the previous section which is related to the scatter diagram, I have specified the relationship, how what percentage basis you have, you can decide the degree of correlation, positive or negative, or there is no correlation. So you can refer that previous session. And here the ungrouped data. So whatever the discrete data, ungrouped data and group data. Do group data we are not considering. So in case of bivariate only, with the group only consider. So ungrouped data, directly seeing the problem only you can understand x and y which is given, or they can specify price and demand. So which is okay, directly without doing a step deviation method. How? The numerator, so whatever it is given, so based on the here, see, if you try to take sigma x, in this case x, and sigma y, okay, so whatever it is there, now you are going for the reverse. Okay, whatever the question is given, if you try directly taking which is going for the sigma x and sigma y. Okay, how you are getting x and y, which is nothing but you need to multiply x and y. Now you are getting sigma xy, x into y, xy you are getting. See, with the help of direct questions, the numerator whatever it is required, see, we constructed. Okay, sigma, either you can write first time a sigma y or sigma x, okay, no problem. So reverse, when you are going, you will get an clarity. The formula how you can remember, see, sigma x which is multiplied, either you are writing left side sigma y, suppose sigma y, okay, and sigma x, reverse you are reading. So whatever it is there, just mention the minus sign. Okay, now how you are getting x and y, just multiply sigma x and y you are getting. Now according to formula, so we need to take the n is a number of item is given in the x and y series, so that is directly clear. So now because the deviation when you are depending, which is very looking like simple, but calculation and construction method is very lengthy. But in case of here direct method, we are straight away we are trying to depend whatever it is required in the formula. We don't want to go for the extending the calculation part. So here see the x series and y series. Based on the x series, we are trying to take the square. Okay, with the help of x, we are trying to take the square, so which is nothing but sigma x square. See, sigma x square. Okay, so again, whatever we calculated, which is there in the sigma x, this formula you can easily remember, or you can read in the reverse manner, sigma x, okay, and sigma x square. So reverse, when we are writing, easily you can remember. So first we calculated base, see numerator whatever it is there, so I am writing, so minus sign to the power of square. Okay, how we are getting x square? If you take the x square, so directly sigma x square, the from the x series n. Okay, and the same thing you need to multiply. Now we are trying to go for the other variables, which is a y variable. Again reverse we are going, sigma y, we already got sigma y. Okay, take the square root, minus sign, we need to depend on the y square, which is very simple. From the y series we are trying to do for square, so which is we are getting a sigma y square. Okay, after getting this, very simple to simplify. Okay, so please note this formula which is repeated, and take the deviation, finish. In case of step deviation, direct method, the procedure is very simple. So in case of deviation, we are trying to find out x bar. In case of direct formula, we are trying to find out with the help of x, and we are trying to depend on the small x. Okay, the small x we have value. So now we are taking the square, because the square deviation, which is nothing but sigma x square. Now take the deviation from y, because we need to small letter y, which is related to the y series. Okay, again you are taking the y square. Okay, after taking this, according to formula, whatever it is required, you need to construct the table. Okay, now sigma xy, so we calculated sigma xy and sigma x square from the x series square, from the y series y square. Okay, so this is a final formula. It's very simple formula. Okay, so easily you can remember this formula. Again, so numerator, denominator always for standard deviation, numerator which is looking like arithmetic mean. Okay, so the shortcut method. See, why we are using a shortcut method? Because the numbers whatever they given in the question, if the 2 or 3 digit is there, means at the time of multiplication it is very difficult. So that's what we are trying to do, depending on the shortcut methods. So you know, see, already have written x plus u plus, I am writing x, and say, suppose here see sigma n into sigma xy minus sigma x into sigma y. Wherever x you are finding, you are just replacing y. Wherever you are finding y, you are writing just v. Okay, the formula is same, but here the formula, why we are not without equal distance. Now for example, the set of x and y series value is given, so which is 10, 8, 5, so which is not a uniform. You are not finding the equal distance. So that's what we are writing just for u and v. How we are getting u? Very simple. From the question x series and y series, what you identified. So x series we call it as an y. Okay, u. So how we are finding u is equal to x minus a. Okay, you are assuming any one value from the x series. Okay, so that's what without equal width. In this case, we are not finding the equal width. That's what we are writing just for u. Wherever you are finding x, we are just replacing u. Wherever you are finding y, we are writing just v. Okay, how we are getting u? I have clearly specified the same formula which is we did in the measure of central tendency. The same procedures will be followed. Okay, so the same thing, because the variation, the correlation between x and y. Okay, so the formula here u dash, why we are taking u dash? Because equal distance. Okay, when equal distance means how we are getting, for example, the first x value 10, 20, 30, 10 difference, because we are trying to depend on the shortcut method. So just for reducing the value, We need to get one single value, because looking like a 2-digit or 3-digit is very complicated. Multiplication is very difficult. So that's what we are depending for the shortcut method. Okay. So the same formula, wherever you are finding x, the formula is standard. You are writing u dash. Why you are writing u dash? Because that's the value equal distance we are getting. Okay. So 10, 10, 10 difference we are getting now. So how we are finding u dash? The formula is very simple. Say, assume some value arbitrary origin and assume mean for x and y, which is given in the question, and obtain the deviation of x. Obtain the deviation of x. See, in case of a single digit, we are trying to do for the direct method. In case of 2 or 3 digit is given in the question, so that's what we are trying to do for shortcut methods. Okay. So how you are getting u? It's very simple. U is equal to, from the x series, any one value for you can assume. So that's what you are getting. You are not, okay, suppose in case of u dash you written, so you are writing as it is numerator divided by equal distance. Okay, for u we are consider equal distance c, for v we consider for d, okay, the equal distance. I have explained here. Okay. Consider plus or minus symbol is very important. Okay, you need to consider after calculation or simplification. So square the deviation and get the total. Square the deviation, because the formula whatever it is there, so according to formula only we are trying to construct the table. So we are getting u dash and u dash square is required. Why it is u dash square is required? In case of x, direct method, here see n into sigma x square, what we did. The same thing we are getting u dash. That's what you need to construct one more table according to formula whatever it is repeated. Okay. Wherever you are finding x, you are writing according to the value equal distance or not equal distance. You are decided when you want to consider for u dash. So after taking the echo formula, how you are getting u x minus any one value for a, and how you are getting u dash x minus a divided by equal distance. In case of v dash y is equal to a divided by c. You can write b. Okay, so don't get any confused. If the number are equal distance, then only consider u dash and v dash. Okay, so multiply the deviation u and v, because u and v according to formula which is clearly specified, u and v, u dash and v dash. Now third step, what we are doing? Multiplying u dash and v dash, obtain the product. If you are multiplying, you are getting a product value. Consider keeping in your mind the symbol plus and minus sign is very important to obtain sigma u dash. Okay, the numerator part we completed, even the square root also we did, denominator. Substitute the figure into the formula, performing the calculation of and obtain r. So I am writing C's. The first one I am writing for numerator. Okay, here x. Okay, and y. So just for try to take this sigma. Okay, multiply. Either you are writing first sigma x or sigma y, both are same. Okay. So minus sign. We know there are number of items. That's what we are taking together, sigma x and y. This is your numerator formula. And denominator, see here nothing center. So first we are starting from the x series. Again we are considering for square root. N is very important. Okay. And sigma x square. Okay. Again, after doing this, we are trying to go for sigma x square. So the same thing which is applicable for the y series also, easily you can remember. There is one question to understand. So here find the correlation coefficient between price and supply, or price and demand, whatever the question is given. So now price is considered x. Supply is considered y. Okay, so the value is given, see the which is a single digit value. Okay, here 2-digit value, but majority single digit. They are not specified which method you have to do. So as per your convenience method, the first one the step deviation method, and second one direct method, and the last one shortcut method. So according to my opinion, I try to suggest for the direct method. Is it is very easy to get the value. So what I did with the help of direct method. So X series whatever it is given, I have written. Okay, Y series whatever the value is given, I have written as it is. So according to formula, see the formula R is equal to whatever it is required. First one square root denominator n into sigma x y. First n into, first we are going, and minus sigma x into sigma y. Okay, and left side we are starting from the x, means number is same, sigma x square. Okay, and here if you are writing the same sigma y square, the formula whatever it is there, so we are trying to construct the table. Okay, so the very simple, the x series directly you can take the total. We are getting sigma x is equal to 15, sigma y we are getting 75 directly. The numerator part whatever it is there directly we are depending. So again the square in the denominator we need to depend on the deviation or square root. So that's what we are, with the help of x series we are trying to go for x square. 1 into 1 1, 2 into 2 4, 3 into 3 9. So like this, after taking this total, sigma x square is equal to 55 we are getting. So the same thing is applicable for the y series. 5 into 5 25, 10 into 10 100, 15 into, so like this if you take the total sigma y square is you are getting 1375. So according to formula we need to depend on x and y. That's what we need to multiply whatever which is given in the question. 1 into 5 5, 2 into 10 20, 3 into 15 45. Take the total sigma x y which is nothing but 275. So for your just understanding sake, I have written one more time here in the next slide. So just for understanding, okay, how we are writing. The formula is numerator. Okay, so we got this value. Okay, 275, and sigma x which is directly with the help of questions only we got, and sigma y also we got the value from the direct questions. Okay, so divided by, because we are doing with the help of deviation, x series and y series. Okay, separate calculation. N you need to consider because the number of items which is clearly specified in the question. So x square we got 55. Okay, so sigma x we already got which is related to mean, which is related to standard deviation. Okay, so take the square. The same thing which is applicable for the y series, n number of items, and y square we got 1375. Same thing, sigma x with the help of questions only we got 75. Now we can simplify. If you try to multiply 5 into 275 and 15 into 75, 15 into 75 divided by, number is given in the question 5 numbers. Okay, 5 1 2 3 4 5 items. So wherever the n place we are writing 5 sigma x square place sigma x square value, sigma x value we are getting 15, and the same thing y n is applicable for y series 5. Okay, sigma a y square we got this value, so as it is, so minus sign as it is. So sigma y place I am writing here 75 to the power of square because the formula is having square. Okay, if you simplify one by one, if you multiply you are getting 1375. If you multiply minus sign as it is, 15 into 75 1125. Okay, the same thing, first you need to simplify 5 into 55 275. So minus sign as it is, 15 into 2 times 225. So multiply symbol as it is, so I am writing. So again you have to multiply, you are getting 6875. Minus sign as it is, 75 into 2 times 5625. Okay, now you need to subtract So after subtraction, we are getting 55. So here, numerator, if you subtract, you are getting 250. If you subtract 275 minus 225, 50, multiply symbol as it is. 6, this 2, if you subtract, you are getting 1250. Okay. Again, you need to remove the square root for both separately. So that's what the numerator as it is I am writing. So if you remove the square root for 50, here 7, okay. Again, you need to simplify one by one. After doing, you are getting exactly 1. Now, easily we can decide which is a perfect positive. You are getting perfect positive correlation. 1 exactly you are getting. Plus 1 means perfectly positive sign. You are getting positive. That's what perfectly correlations. So, which is approximately, which means that there is a perfect correlations between the, okay, price and supply. So, if you are getting, for example, 0.9999, because if you try to go for round figure, you are getting 1 exactly. That's what we are trying to say, which is a perfect positive correlation. So, again, after simplification, you know there is a compulsory comment is important. So, that's what the comment part I have written here, perfectly positive relationship between price and variable. So, in the question, they are asking to find out the probable error. The probable error, the standard value, which is always for 0.6745. Okay. So, into 1 minus r square. R square we got 1. Just now we calculated r value. We are getting 1. Okay. So, the formula is very simple. 0.6745 into 1 in the numerator 1 minus r. R is which is a calculated correlation. Square you need to take divided by n because the number item is given 5. Okay. X and y 5. Again, first as it is I am writing. I just want to remove take the value for numerator. So that's what the 1 as it is, the minus sign as it is, r place I'm getting 1. So 1 to 1 square divided by denominator 5 because n is 5 in the question. So if you the same thing I have written. Okay. Again I just want to subtract. So here 1 minus 1 plus 1 minus 1 cancel directly 0 divided by, if you try to remove the square root, you are getting 2.0 divided by, if you do, okay. So the final answers will be the correlation, okay, the probable error is 0. Why? Because again you can easily decide, you are getting perfectly positive, here you are getting probable error, there is no errors in the, okay, correlations. Moving forward, the Pearson coefficient of correlations, whatever we did in the last slide, which is related to UD, okay, only one, there is no, we are not finding the frequency. But in case now which this question is very expected, important question for 15 marks or 10 marks. Okay, so under group data, when group data means the discrete data correlations we are doing with the help of bivariate. So that means actually bivariate means the two variables x and y. So here under bivariate we are finding a frequency. So the formula whatever which is applied for the discrete without frequency. So there is slight changes we are finding. So in case of whatever we did problem which is related to the correlation of Pearson, so which is n into sigma, okay, x y minus okay, and sigma x into sigma y divided by standard deviation for x. Okay, when we are writing sigma x square minus sigma x to the power of square, which is applicable for x series, and the same thing multiplied sigma for y, n into sigma y square, okay, into sigma y to the power of square. So with in this formula we are not finding any frequency. But in bivariate direct method, or you are trying to do for this shortcut method. So once again I am recalling, when you want to do for direct method, because the digit is a single digit. In case of 2 or more digit is given, so better to do for shortcut method. Okay. So here the formula is very simple. What you can observe, okay, you can carefully observe. Here in the bivariate model we are considering a double sigma. Okay, that means at the time of solving a problem you will get more clarity under direct method. Double sigma, Okay, but so when you are writing a double sigma, which is a common frequency for x and y, that's what we are writing fxy. The frequency f stand for fxy into, see, in the single digit format, whatever the formula is, the sigma x. Okay, the sigma x, again we are considering a frequency. That's what the frequency is added, nothing else. Okay, and the same thing here, sigma y is there. Again, sigma, along with the sigma y, we are writing the frequency for y. Okay, so this much only which is related to the numerator part, and denominator part you can observe here. So without frequency, this formula. With the frequency, what we are finding? So only fx is added. And the same thing here also we are finding fx. Okay, multiply, n is common and sigma y square is there, but frequency is added, nothing else. Okay, and sigma here also same thing, sigma y fx to the power of square. Okay, this is under direct method in case of single digit. If they are asking specifically, they are asking try to do in the direct method or step deviation method, you based on the question only we can decide. And under bivalent group data or shortcut method, okay, so the same formula whatever it is there, only we need to consider, instead of writing x, we are writing u dash. How we will get to know u dash? From the x series, you need to assume any one value is assumed divided by equal distance. Okay, so in case of equal distance, we need to consider for u dash. Now, in case of y plus, we are writing v dash, but respected frequency for u dash and v dash. The same thing. Sigma x plus, we are writing u dash. Wherever you are finding x, you have to replace u dash. Okay, wherever you are finding y, you are just replacing v dash. Okay, so this is your step deviation or shortcut method. Okay, so the same thing. Okay, here denominator, what we are finding, root is there, but n is common, but only in the numerator we are finding a double sigma. Double sigma means what? X and y total. Okay, the final total. How we are you will get more clarity the problem when I'm doing a problem, you will get more clarity. So here x square is there, that's what I have written u dash squares. Okay, so assume this formula is for the 2 digit or 3 digit basis, so that you can understand much better. So wherever you sigma x plus y, I have written u dash. Here also y plus we are written v dash. Okay, y dash, y plus we are writing y dash. Moving forward, so here already clearly specified, in case of without equal distance, we are writing just for u. Okay, in case of equal distance, when you are getting, so you are writing u dash. Okay, how you get to know u dash? From the x series, okay, you need to assume any one value as a divided by c. C, you know, it is a equal distance or width. From the u dash x minus a is assumed mean for x series. Okay, c is a common difference for x series or width of the class, because in this case only. Okay, now how we are finding without having a equal distance? Okay, so for example, without having equal distance, 10 12 13, so equal distance is not there. So in case of equal distance, 10 15 20 25, 5 difference you are getting. No, in that case you have to consider for u dash. Okay, so without having a equal distance, we are directly going for y series, we are try to consider for v x or y. Okay, y minus b. B is a assumed mean from the y series. Okay, here we took for d is a common difference for y. See here the common difference what you are getting. So of the here fx, you know, under bivariate there is a frequency is compulsory is given in the question. So that's what we need to consider, frequency f x y, x and y common frequency. Okay, so that is a bivariate frequency. F of x only marginal frequency for x series. Okay, and fy is a marginal frequency for y, only y series frequency. If you together, if you consider, which is nothing but fx. Okay, so here n, according to formula, n is a total frequency of the given bivariate distribution. Either x series n is equal to same y series. Okay, so X series frequency also getting same total and Y series frequency also getting same total. Okay, so moving forward, there is one questions to understand. The question, find the correlation coefficient and probable error. Okay, so now this you need to consider this one is your X series and this one is your Y series. Okay, this one is your Y series. Now X variable and Y variable. So but in the Y variable, which is not looking like a exclusive data, this one is looking like inclusive data. Okay, so why it is we call it as inclusive data? For the first class upper limit, which is not carry for the second class as a lower limit. See, first class lower limit is 20, upper limit is 29. Okay, and second class lower limit is 30. Upper limit is 39. So whenever the first class upper limit is not carry as lower limit for the next class, then it is an inclusive data. We need to converting into exclusive data. So whatever which is given in the box, which is nothing but your frequency. Okay, so here exactly the class interval is given. Okay, X value and Y value is not given. So that we need to find out midpoint. We need to find out midpoint from the X series class interval and Y series class interval. We need to find out. So before finding a Y series exact midpoint, we need to convert for exclusive data. So because I told which is a clear the first class upper limit is not carry for the second class as a lower limit. That's what we need to convert in only for Y series, not for X series, because in case of X series, the first class upper limit which is carry for second class as a lower limit. So which is looking like a exclusive data. In this case, which is inclusive data. We are trying to convert into exclusive data. Okay, the formula is very simple. So lower limit minus 0.5, upper limit plus 0.5. So in case of this, we are getting lower limit, if you subtract 0.5, we are getting 19.5. Okay, and upper limit 29, we are adding 0.5 means 29.5. Okay, if you try to go for cross check for the second class, 30 minus 0.5, we are getting 29.5. Okay, and upper limit is 39.5. Now you can observe carefully. For the first class, upper limit is carry as a lower limit. Now this is called for exclusive conversion is converted. So now see the whatever the information is given. Okay, so we are writing as it is. Okay, the same thing have written. So the calculation part I will explain. So we know the formula basis what and all is required. Okay, the formula what and all is required. So in the Y series they given inclusive data. Okay, now we with the help of inclusive data we already converted exclusive data. Okay, lower limit 0.5 minus upper limit plus 0.5. Now 20 minus 0.5, 19.5. Upper limit 29 plus 0.5, 29.5. Okay, so the same procedures will follow for all the class interval. Okay, and even in this directly in the X series, we already find which is a exclusive data is given. Okay, how to find out midpoint or X value? So here see in the previous. So from the X series, the class interval, you just write 10 plus 24 divided by 2. Okay, so here 34 divided by 2, we are getting the exactly midpoint. Okay, so this is the conversion process is completed. Okay, here also same. After conversion, what we need to do? We need to identify the exact midpoint. So the first lower limit is converted value 19.5. plus 29.5 divided by 2 if you do, you will get exactly 24.5 is your Y midpoint value. Okay, midpoint. Okay, so same from the X series 10 to 14 is given. Okay, 10 to 14, 14 to 18, so 4 difference. So exactly midpoint, first value we are getting 12. Second midpoint 16. Third midpoint 20. Last midpoint 24. Okay, so now this data is looking like a 2-digit. Okay, so at the time of multiplication it is very difficult. That's what we are trying to do for under shortcut method. So same thing, after finding a midpoint for all this, now we need to find out, okay. So according to formula, I have clearly specified the formula, whatever it is required, okay. So for your understanding, I am writing one more time, okay. The formula, what and all is required here, UV is equal to N sigma double sigma, okay. Next, U dash V dash, okay, and along with the respected frequency, okay. Now minus sigma U dash into sigma V dash divided by, for U dash square we need to do, that's what N as it is, okay, and sigma U dash O square minus sigma U dash to the power of square. Okay, this formula I have written here. Okay, so just for your understanding I am writing, and multiply for Y series. Okay, for Y series same square root we need to write. So N as it is, sigma V dash square inside, V dash square inside, minus sigma V dash O square. Okay, this is your formula. According to formula, we will construct one by one. Okay, so after doing, immediately we need to find out for midpoint of Y, we are, with the help of midpoint, we are finding a V dash. The formula is already, you know, the formula is from the Y series, we will assume any one as a B, okay, assume mean, divided by C, or you can write D, any one, okay. So I have assumed here 34.5 your assumption. Now which is starting from 24.5 minus 34.5 divided by equal distance, I am getting 10. So first value minus 1. Okay. Now which is applicable for second value. So again, if you are writing 34.5 X series, your assumption assumed 34 divided by 10. So 0 we are getting. And the same thing, 44, your X value is 44 minus 34.5 divided by 10 you are getting. So which is a plus 10. 44.5 minus 34, 10. 10 divided by 10, we are getting 1. So last 54.5 minus 34.5, we are getting 20 divided by 10, we are getting 2. Okay. Now after finding a V dash value, immediately we are trying to find out for U dash with the help of midpoint X series. Okay, in this case, we assume 20 is your midpoint, assume mean, A is a 20 is, we are assume for 20 you are assume. From the X series, we found we value 12 minus 20 assumption, assumed 20 divided by 4 difference we are getting. So 20 minus 12 minus 20, how 8 divided by 4, 2 we are getting. So which is a minus 2 we are getting. And same thing will go for 16 minus 24, 4 divided by 4 equal distance, minus 1 we are getting. And same thing, 20 minus 20, 0 divided by 10, 4 we are getting 0. Last value 24 minus 20 plus 4 we are getting, divided by 4 we are getting 1. So that's it. Okay, now immediately what we need to do, horizontal wise we are taking a frequency total, and vertical also we are taking a frequency total. When you are writing horizontal, okay, in front of horizontal X is located, so we will consider for horizontal is a X value, and vertical is completely which is related to Y value. Now start with the frequency, first frequency 10, okay. So here starting from the X series is a 12. So 10 plus 10, 20, 20 the frequency total we return for X series. Horizontal is applicable for X series. Vertical is applicable for Y series. Let me complete for X series. Okay, next, second frequency, here is 0. Next frequency is a 20. 20 plus 8, 28. I have written 28. Okay, next frequency. So from 10 plus 25, 35, 35 plus 6, 41 is your frequency. Okay, last frequency column, 7 plus 4, 11. X value horizontal is completed. Now we are trying to go for Y series opposite direction. Okay, so the frequency total, which is starting from 10, 10. Okay, 10 plus 10. Okay, for the first frequency 10. Again here 10 plus 20, 30. 30 plus 10, 40. Okay, next 8 plus 25. Okay, plus 3, again 40 we are getting. Next frequency total, 6 plus 4, 10 we are getting the frequency. Now we are trying to take the frequency for Y series total, which is giving for X and Y frequency total, which is nothing but your capital letter N. Okay, if you take this together total for X series, we are getting 100. And Y series we need to take for horizontal 10 plus 40, 50, 50 plus 40, 90, 90 plus 10, 100. Okay, the frequency total both side we are getting equal. Now moving to next, after finding a V dash and U dash, what we need to do? So U dash here, okay, U dash along with the frequency we need to multiply. Now frequency total we got already. Okay, how we are getting minus 40? So which is nothing but, see, we are extending. We are multiplying with the U dash for X series. We are multiplying with the V dash for Y series. Okay, now frequency U dash, we know the value for U dash. Okay, how we are getting minus? See here, U dash value, U dash into frequency, we already got the frequency 20. Okay, now U dash value minus 2. Minus 2 into 20, minus 40. Minus 20, minus 2 into 20, minus 40. Because the formula, whatever it is required, we are just converting. Is it clear? Okay, because the frequency X and Y is very important. Now second, U dash value minus 1. Minus 1 into respected frequency 28, if you do, minus 28. Okay, next frequency, next U dash value 0. 0, if you multiply any value which is getting, you are always getting 0 only. Now next U dash value 1. 1 into respected frequency, what we got? 11. So 11 we are getting. Now take this total, which is giving for the U dash value. Okay, so which is U dash value. So which is nothing but you are writing sigma U dash F dash, whatever the formula is there. So easily you can do. Now once we converted U dash and frequency multiply, now because the formula is having U dash square is required, no? So that's what we are doing. U dash we already got minus 40, but U dash into U dash, U dash into U dash, which will give you U dash square. So which is already U dash here, U dash and F dash. U dash and U dash, if you multiply, you are getting U dash F square. So can you just check? Minus 2, minus 40 into minus 2, minus into minus 40. Okay, here I am writing U dash F dash is 40, minus 40 into U dash value minus 2. Okay, minus into minus plus 40 into 2, 80. The same procedures will follow for next. Minus 28 into minus 1 to plus 28. 0 into 0, 0. 11 into 1, 11 we are getting. Once we get the U dash square, F respected frequency, that's what which is applicable for all X series. F dash is always constant. Okay, now we are going for the V dash. Again, same thing. We already got the value for U dash. Okay, first value, second value, third value. Here minus 1, 0, 1, 2. This is and all. This one is your U dash value. Now what we are doing? Respected frequency, whatever you took the total. Okay, we already took the total for 10. The Y dash total frequency total we took, no. So we are just multiply 10 into minus 1, minus 10. Okay. Now 40 into 0, 0. Next, 40 into 1, 40. Next, 20 into 2, 40. Okay, once we are getting 10 into 2, we are getting 20. Next, after getting V dash and respected frequency, you multiply. Now we need to require for V dash square. Okay, the frequency common. Now V dash frequency Y we already got. Now we are multiplying because we need to get V dash square. So which is already how we are getting. Okay, it's very simple. Here V dash already it is there. You need to multiply one more time V dash. V dash where we exactly we are finding here. Okay, now see, minus 10 into minus 1 plus 10. Okay, now 0 into 0, 0. Next, 40 into 1, 40. Next, 20 into 2, 40. We got the dash square, V dash square and U dash square we got. Now, how we are getting? According to formula double sigma, U dash and V dash respected frequency for both. Okay, how we are getting? First see, U dash, go with the respected column. First U dash value which is common, the frequency which is starting, U dash value minus 1. Okay, your respected frequency you need to study. So minus 1, U dash value minus 1. Okay, and V dash value how much, whatever you are getting, same thing. U dash value starting from here, V dash value which is starting from here. Okay, so U dash value minus 2 into minus 1, minus 2 into minus 1, minus into minus plus, plus 2, plus 2 into 10, 20. One more time. So first, according to formula, the first one we need to get U dash and V dash and respected frequency for both frequency which is applicable for X series and Y series. Now U dash, the first midpoint which starting from 12, U dash value minus 2, okay, minus 2, okay, into V dash value first value which is starting from 24, the midpoint minus 1, okay, so minus 1, okay, again the common frequency for applicable for both, the common frequency which is applicable for both 10, okay. Now minus into minus plus, 2 into 1, 2, 2 into 10, 20. So we got here this value in the bracket separately we written. So here see, second X V value and second, okay. So U dash value first from the minus 2 into 0, anything wherever you are getting 0, you blindly you can write for 0 because the 0 if you multiply any value which will give you always 0. So better we wherever 0 we are finding, easily we can mark. Here also we are getting 0, which is nothing is there means we consider as a 0. So here direct straight away we can write. Here also 0, okay, and here also 0. So wherever without seeing only, without multiplication only, directly we can write for 0. Okay, wherever here also we are getting 0. Here also getting 0. Anything, okay, either here V dash column or U dash column, wherever you are getting, or respected frequency also getting 0 means directly we are writing 0. Okay, so once we get the total, so after the box you need to take a horizontal total. Okay, box total here which is nothing but sigma U dash V dash and respected frequency for both. Okay, so first 20, second 8 minus 8, third value is 0, fourth 7 plus 15. Okay, now we did for horizontal. Now vertical also we are trying to take the total. So here the first 20, okay, the first column 20, again second column is 0, third column is a minus 8, plus 1 we are getting. So minus is more, so that's what we are writing, minus sign is more. So last column 8, okay. So altogether if you take the total, so both side we need to get equal. So 20 plus minus 20 minus 1, 19, 19 plus 20, 27 we are getting total, okay, from this horizontal. Vertical also we are, let me check. See, 20 plus 8 plus 15, here also we are getting exactly 27. That's what we are writing. Both the side are getting 27, 27. That's what we are writing double sigma. Okay, so I hope you clear. Now we are trying to apply the formula using a step deviation or shortcut method. Okay, under bivariate data, whatever it's required, okay, the formula. So but just for comparison sake, I am writing one more time. So for without frequency, n into sigma x y minus sigma x and sigma y, in the denominator root for n into sigma x square, okay, minus sigma x o square multiply again n into sigma y square minus sigma y to the power of square. So wherever you are finding x, we are just written u dash. Wherever you are finding y, we are writing v dash. But respected double sigma, when we are writing, no doubt we are writing a frequency for both. Okay, so that's what the formula I have written. I just want to take the value whatever we are getting. So for the table, a bivariate table, we got n total, frequency total for x and y 100, and double sigma, after taking this total we got 27. So I have written, okay, so here sigma u dash square f square we got, sigma u dash f dash square we got 119. So I have written, and sigma u dash f dash we got minus 57, this total minus 57. Okay, now whatever it is required, again for v for y series, sigma v dash square, sigma v dash square we got 90. Okay, so next sigma v dash fy we got 50 total. Okay, whatever it is required, so I have specified. Now we are just one n plus 100 sigma fu dash we got 27, multiply first. Okay, the sign is common, minus sign. Okay, so this one sigma u dash f dash we got 50 minus 57, and last one sigma v dash f dash we got 50, we need to multiply. So first we will simplify this two. Okay, again divided by n plus 100 and sigma u dash square. Okay, sigma u dash square we got 119. So directly we can write, and minus, as it is a minus sign, sigma u dash f dash we got already minus 57. Take this square root, multiply, and n plus, again for y series we are doing for n 100, and v dash square fy 90 we got. So I have written, so last value for v dash 50 to the power of square. Okay, we need to simplify separately. So that's what first I have multiplied. I got 2700, and again I have multiplied, but minus into minus, first I multiply. So the same I am multiplying this one, so that's what I have specified minus. Okay, we get 2850. Okay, now the denominator part root removing. So first one I have multiply, I got 8651, and minus, so this one I have extended for here. So the same 100 into 119, 11,900. The sign part I have written same thing, and 57 into 2 times multiply 3249. So multiply symbol same. So again I have to multiply by this 2. Okay, because y series 100 into 9 9000, same minus sign name, 50 to the power of square means 2500. Okay, now we are trying to go for simplifying one by one. So if you subtract, you are getting 5505. Okay, and in the denominator point 11,900, and if you subtract, you are getting 8,651. Okay, again minus, if you subtract, the final answer have written here, and the same thing if you minus, you will get the same thing 6,500. Okay, according to formula you need to multiply. That's what the numerator part I have written same thing. If you multiply, you are getting a 50 5 crores 62 lakhs 31,500. Okay, remove the square root, you are getting this much. Denominate numerator part as it is. If you simplify, you are getting r is equal to 0.78. Seeing the r value, correlation value, we can decide which is a positive and high degree of positive correlation between x and y. Okay, so high degree of correlation. So you have to write the comment, that's what, because so which is a more than 0.5 plus sign, so we consider as a positive high degree of, okay, so there exist high degree of positive correlation between x and y. Okay, so we need to do for probable error, okay, using the correlation whatever we calculated. So here the probable error, we know the r correlation value we got 0.78 have written. So the probable error, the constant value which is always for 0.6745, okay, into 1 minus r to the power of square. R to the power of square means you need to whatever you calculated divided by root n, because we know the formula is standard. Okay, you must remember this formula. And same thing I have written in case of r place, I am writing written 0.78 to the power of square I want to do, divided by n plus 100. So as it is I have written same thing. Okay, 1 minus, okay, if you take the power you are getting 0.6084. So if you remove the square root I am getting a 10. So now as it is I have written, because I just want to subtract the numerator, so after subtraction I am getting 0.3916 divided by 10. Okay, if you divide, the same thing I have written, if you divide you are getting 0.03916. okay, both the value if you multiply the errors will be approximately 0.026. if you take approximately, which is nothing but there is no chances of more error. Okay, only fractions we are finding. Okay, keep on watch for next section. Thank you.